104. We've hit new depths on the radar gun here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. That was 104.
Hey, everybody. I am here with maybe the hardest throwing college baseball player of all time. I'm going to make him blush. Ben Joyce. What is up, Ben?
What's up? How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Like, how does it feel to be referred to as that? That's crazy.
It's pretty crazy. Like, it's kind of still like surreal, just kind of seeing all the hype around. And my parents are texting me like sending me all these videos that I'm getting tagged in and stuff. It's just really weird to see.
They have to be proud, though. I mean, that's sick. And you have the best nickname in college baseball now, the Volunteer Fireman.
I love that nickname. I love that nickname.
It's awesome. We've got to get a shirt done or something. Like, I think I don't know. It came to me in the middle of the night, like random nicknames do, and it just fits you.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I always hear people yelling it from the stands, the Volunteer Fireman, so they seem to like it a lot.
That's awesome. So I did not come with protective gear on after what you did yesterday to that poor umpire. Have you ever done that before?
I have not. No, I mean, I felt so bad when I did that. It was, of course, it was right after the belt broke, so we had a 2-minute break there, and then the first pitch, I happened to hit him, so I felt pretty bad after that. I've never done that before.
Yeah, that was brutal. Like I felt bad posting it because as long as he's not hurt, that's cool because that happens. But like I had to make sure because 102 to the face leaves a mark.
Yeah, he said he was all right after that. I mean, he took it pretty well. He got up pretty quick.
He's a champ. I mean, that's what umpires do. They're awesome. They're tough.
Oh,
yeah, but that was sick. Like, how did your belt break, by the way? Was it just from the torque of stuff or?
See, I don't know. I was just kind of like trying to like readjust it, kind of move it over a little, and then it just literally just fell apart in my hand. So I had to run over there and get another one real quick. I don't even know. That's never happened to me before. I don't know how that happened.
So you had 2 freak things happen within like 5 minutes that never happened to you before.
Yeah, it was a weird outing yesterday for sure.
So help me understand. Like everybody asked, one question is like, why is he pitching in college? And I know that you grew a ton, like right before your senior year, is it?
Yeah, kind of the summer before my senior year, I had a huge growth spurt. I was like 8 inches in that year, and I was still kind of uncoordinated and trying to figure out how to use my body again. I went through some growth plate stuff in high school, and I ended up going to Walter State and kind of growing a little bit more and finally putting on some weight too. So that's kind of when I really started hitting the big growth spurt, was kind of going into senior year and then right after that.
Because you were ranked something like the 70th player in Tennessee by Perfect Game or something like that. And obviously, in retrospect, you're probably not the 70th player.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't have much recruiting attention at all out of high school. It was kind of just, I was still trying to figure out how to use my body, and finally hitting a growth spurt going into my senior year was when I really started to finally see some velocity and be able to pitch a little bit.
Were you a hard thrower even at a shorter height or no?
Oh no, I think I topped out at 67 in my freshman year tryouts, and then kind of slowly climbed the ladder from there. I think my junior year I cracked 80, and then senior year I was kind of upper 80s touching 90. So I was kind of slowly climbed the ladder there.
So it's one of those things, like I have a theory, I don't know if it's true or not, but if you're smaller and you're trying to throw hard, I think your mechanics end up being better than I think you're kind of blessed by the fact that your growth spurt came late because you had to keep up with the bigger dudes. And now you're the bigger dude.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's kind of the thing that we were talking about the other day with some guys on the team. Like I never really thought about mechanics. I really just thought about trying to throw hard and keep up with everyone. So I think that really just kind of put my body in the positions that it needed to be in to finally get that velocity when I did grow a little bit.
So has anybody ever do they ever try to change your mechanics or anything? I mean, or is it just like, hey, it's not broke clearly, don't fix it?
Yeah, we made a couple small changes coming off of Tommy John, but I mean, it was just it's never really one of those things where they were like kind of trying to go in and change everything. I mean, Coach Anderson was awesome about it, just kind of letting my body work how it naturally does. And then just kind of one thing for me was trying to get directionally straight to home plate instead of striding across my body. But I mean, other than that, it's just kind of let my body do what it's going to naturally do.
Yeah. So now, like you said you're a small high school kid. Now you're pretty large. Like you're what, 6'5", and you, I mean, you certainly take to strength and conditioning pretty seriously, I would think.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that's kind of always been my thing. Just because I mean, when I was smaller, I really just tried to work as hard as I could, trying to gain weight, and I feel like it just kind of stuck from there. And I've taken pride in that part of it a lot.
Yeah. Has obviously being thrown into the limelight like this, does it change your mental approach? Like, what is your mindset on the bump, knowing that I would imagine whoever's facing you is kind of scared to death?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just try to tune it out and just kind of focus on what I'm trying to do. But I mean, it has kind of been, especially coming back from Tommy John, just kind of gaining that confidence again and feeling more comfortable on the mound. I've definitely noticed a difference throughout the season. Just every time I feel a lot more comfortable and kind of more in control, which is kind of the big thing they've been focusing on with me.
I love what the coaches are doing as far as bringing you back to, like, that's the other question I get. One is, why is he in college? He shouldn't throw anymore, blah, blah, blah. The other is, well, why is he only coming in these games? Why isn't he coming in, these tight games? Number one, you haven't had a lot of tight games. And number two, they're trying to bring you along after injury and making sure they're not overusing you. So you're going to be valuable late in the season, I assume. And adapt your body to the stress is what I'm guessing. You can tell me.
No, yeah, that's kind of, I mean, even through the fall, they didn't let me push it at all. It was kind of throw an inning a week and just keep building up, working on my pitches and just try to build my arm strength up, but not go all out so that I'm having any setbacks or anything right now. Cause I mean, Coach V and Coach Anderson, they're huge on let's be healthy in May and keep getting more comfortable just as many times out there as you can. So, I mean, I really love how they've been doing it so far.
Yeah, I would agree. I think a lot of coaches are pressured into winning, like they want to win. And it seems like what you're going through are coaches that are looking out for your health while also wanting to win. I mean, obviously they want to win games, but your health is first and foremost, and making sure you're going to have a long career ahead of you. Like it's becoming more and more obvious, and you might as well, number one, enjoy your college experience and dominate. But number two, know that you're going to have a long career. And I love the way they're bringing you along.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, it helps to have the guys around me that I do. Just kind of, I don't have to worry about throwing as much, just because I know we've got such a deep pitching staff this year. It's been cool to just kind of have that healthy competition every day and just go out there with those guys and, I mean, just compete and try to do as well as we can every day with every opportunity we get. I mean, it's been awesome so far.
I feel it snuck up on some people too, because I don't know, like at least where I am, there wasn't the buzz that there was until like I started watching your games, and I'm like, they're just like, y'all have arms out it's just every day you're throwing somebody. I mean, Chase Burns and Dolander, and I mean, it's just like you guys are tough.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going into the year or starting the fall, I was like, wow, we might have some big arms. And then Chase Burns comes in, he's touching 100. I mean, Chase Dollander's touching 100 with 4 different pitches. And then Drew Beam, the freshman, comes in throwing Sundays. He's looking really good. And then our bullpen's just going to continue to get healthier and bigger. So it's going to be pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, I was going to say Beam looked really good to me too. Like he's very sharp.
He is. He's very talented for a freshman. I mean, for any age, he just looks like he's been there for a while, which is pretty cool to see.
So help me on your velo progression. You mentioned you were like mid 60s in high school, which is a great story. Like this is why coaches shouldn't give up on players and players shouldn't give up on the sport, is because you never know who's going to be the next Ben Joyce, and you may drive them out of a sport and may play something else or do something else. So I think that's awesome. But like, even you touched 100 in high school, right?
I think I touched 95 in high school.
Okay.
That might have been a little generous, but
we round up here.
Yeah, yeah. I think I first touched 100 my sophomore year at Walter State it was like a scrimmage right before the spring, and that was the first time I ever touched 100.
Gotcha. And what did everybody do when you touched 100? Like, that's a big number.
Yeah, I was throwing in the scrimmage, and I see my coach that we always had a radar gun back there, and I see my coach go back there and pull out his phone and start videotaping, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. I've never seen him do that before. And then I threw a pitch, and I just heard everyone go, "Oh my gosh, 100!" And then it kind of made me laugh on the mound. But yeah, it was kind of crazy to see that number for the first time, because I mean, I don't know, I just never really thought about like, oh, what if I hit 100? And then it just kind of happened. It was pretty crazy to see that number for the first time.
Now you get to see it kind of all the time. Like, do you definitely do a little gun check during the game, right? Like, you're looking at seeing what it had yet.
I actually don't velo check except for my last warm-up pitch. I always velo check the last warm-up pitch, and then I mean, maybe if like they hit a ball in play or something, I'll like do a quick look. But for me, it's kind of, I can kind of tell if I hear the crowd kind of start riling up a little bit. That's when I know I might have hit a good number.
I have seen batters do velo checks off you though. Like, they'll step out and they'll take a look at the scoreboard. And I mean, I got to imagine it's intimidating. The other thing is, like, after I tweet your videos, a few times this year, the hitters are actually chiming in going like, man, it was awesome facing you and all. That's like, there's a lot of respect from opposing hitters, which I love. And there's a mark on you. Somebody wants to take you yard.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I saw the kid on South Carolina tweeted like it was awesome facing you. Like, I mean, I never would have expected it to kind of blow up like it has. It's just kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, there may be a mark on me just because everyone's like, oh, he's throwing 104. But yeah, and I guess we'll see.
What is the fastest you've thrown? Because I know Coach said, like, I think you hit 103, and he's like, oh, I was expecting him to hit, like, you hit 103.5 or whatever the number was. Because I mean, I heard 103.5 might be 103.9 or whatever. And he said, oh, I mean, that's a little low for what I've seen from him. What is the highest you've ever hit?
I think it might have been like 104 point something. The pitch on Sunday, I threw it, and I guess we have like the Yacker Tech in our dugout, and I guess it didn't pick that one up. So I don't know exactly how hard that one was, but I think the hardest before that was like 104 point something. I don't know the exact number, but I think I dropped. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Yeah, I think I hit 104 like once before the year, but it was like, I think they almost thought it was just a misread at that point, kind of a thing.
I would too. I mean, that's a big number.
Yeah.
Do you have goals for yourself? Like, do you set goals for yourself on velo, or is it just, it is what it is?
No, I mean, I honestly don't really even think about it. I'm just kind of like going out there trying to throw hard but still be under control. That's not really like I'm not like, oh, I hope my velo goes up, like, or what was my velo today? It's more like throwing strikes and competing is kind of what I'm really trying to do.
I love that, because the other thing that you hear from folks is, well, he throws hard, but can he locate? And I've actually seen you, like, you're way more under control than most people that throw that hard in the world. Maybe more than, like, I think you live in the zone pretty well, occasionally a little bit out, but it's not like spraying it around all over the place.
No, I think Coach Anderson really has helped me with that, just kind of staying under control and really focusing on my breathing, just trying to, I mean, throwing strikes and getting ground outs is a lot better than throwing hard and walking people. Like, I'd rather kind of go in there and be effective and throw strikes and get out. So that's really what I'm really focused on.
How do you recover after an outing? Like, what do you do? Do you ice? Do you use like Mark Pro? What do you do? Like, someone that throws that hard has to put a lot of stress on himself.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I really think working out after pitching helps me recover a lot. Just kind of get the blood flowing. I'm not a big into ice. Our trainer isn't really either, which I kind of like. I don't really. It kind of makes me feel almost stiff after if I ice it, but I'm big into working out. I do a lot of arm care after I throw, and then I think just kind of having built up throughout the fall and into the spring, my arms just kind of been able to bounce back a lot a lot easier just through the steady build up with the Tommy John rehab.
Now, are you crazy in the weight room? Are you one of those guys that really goes at it? And who is the strongest dude on the team? Like, are you among them, or or at least on the staff?
Yeah, I think I'm probably up. I take working out really seriously. That's kind of honestly probably my favorite thing to do. Just kind of go in the weight room. But I mean, we've got some pretty strong dudes on the team. Drew Gilbert, he's crazy in the weight room. He's fun to work out with. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the pitchers take it really seriously, which is awesome. We have a good time in there.
Yeah, it seems like a really good, friendly competition, and a bunch of, I mean, at least from the outside looking in, it looks like the staff really gets along, and they're like, it is definitely one of the top pitching staffs in college, and it snuck up. Like, everybody knows Vanderbilt's pitching, every year they just reload. But don't sleep on the Vols, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, starting in the fall, it was competition every day, but it was good competition. Like, everyone wanted the next person to succeed, and they're always pushing each other in a good way, and just kind of giving someone tips on how they hold this pitch. Like, what are they thinking about in this situation? It's really cool to just kind of pick the mind of those people, like, every day that are out throwing in the SEC, one of the top pitchers in the country, like Chase Burns. Like, I can ask him, hey, how do you hold this pitch? What do you do here? And just kind of get that information and feedback.
Does he call that a cutter or a slider, or does he have both, by the way?
He calls it a slider.
Okay.
I think it's just kind of just because he throws it so hard, it almost, some people call it a cutter, but he calls it a slider.
Yeah, that's another one. Like, as far as the most unhittable pitches in the country in college, that is one of them. Like, you can't do anything with that.
Oh yeah, it's awesome to watch. I mean, some of the swings people take on that pitch are crazy.
So how much, I don't have access to any of the TrackMan data or anything like that y'all have. How much movement do you get on your fastball?
See, I don't know the exact number, but I mean, it kind of depends on where I release it almost. Like, if I'm throwing it arm side, I'll get a lot more run, but if I'm throwing it up in the zone, it almost kind of rides up. So it's kind of, I guess, kind of the way my wrist position is and how it comes off my fingers. It really depends. But that's kind of one of the things I've been trying to do, is kind of throw it up a little more and kind of get the ride effect on it, which is, I think, has helped me a lot.
Yeah, you threw one at the knees yesterday that looked like it was shot out of a cannon. Like, I think it was a 3-1 pitch maybe to the first bat. Yeah, like, your ability to pitch down in the zone is really good, but if you do pitch up, that would be really interesting. Again, I don't know your spin rate or anything like that, if it's a high spin fastball or not. But anyway, like, it's tough to catch up with regardless. I see these poor hitters trying to hit it. What about your your slider is you've thrown some that are really ridiculous, especially when a hitter has to guard against 102, 104 ish stuff. Where do you see that pitch going?
I mean, that's one of the pitches I've really been trying to develop, just coming back from surgery. I feel like if I can land a pitch like that, it's going to make the fastball even better, and just kind of have them thinking about something else other than just a fastball. So, I mean, I really see that kind of being my main focus, trying to develop that slider into something more like Chase Burns' slider, where he can kind of throw it whenever he wants, which I feel like I've made a lot of progress with it. Coach Anderson's been working with me ever since I started throwing again after surgery, and I feel like I've made pretty big strides with it so far.
Yeah, because it's not often you see a guy, obviously you can get away with velo at this level when you're throwing that hard. You're facing good hitters definitely good hitters in the SEC, but you can lean a lot on that without developing your secondaries. And it's like, I think you're saying, like, and your changeup, have you always had that changeup?
No, I used to throw a circle change, and then we were kind of messing with grips, and I ended up, it's almost more of like I have a baseball. It's more
awesome. Let's see your changeup and your slider grip.
It's more of like a splitter. Like, I just kind of split the two seam right here, and just really just try to throw it like a fastball. And when I get that kind of same arm action, that's when I get the sink and it kind of drops a little at the end. But yeah, that was something Coach Anderson showed me. He was like, just try this grip, and I ended up feeling the most comfortable with that one.
Probably because you're really aggressive with your fastball. If you throw it like a fastball in a splitter, is probably a pretty solid pitch for you, like a split change type thing. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, it's been awesome just kind of seeing that progress with that pitch, because I never really, I just never really felt comfortable with the circle change. I don't know if it was just kind of too deep in my hand or something, but he just wanted me to get something where I could just kind of let it loose and just try to throw it hard and still get it in the zone.
That makes sense. And the longer you stay on the ball, it'll probably go more arm side, I would guess. The longer you hold on to, because your hand's naturally going to pronate. I think a lot of people have a hard time with a circle change, just feeling the ball right in your hand. And actually, if you're trying to pronate it too much, it may mess you up, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your slider grip look like?
I'm right here. I try to get, so my four seam's like this, and I basically just move it over a little to the edge of this seam with my thumb on the bottom.
Gotcha.
And just really, I try to stay on top of it as much as I can. I kind of had a tendency to just literally just like kind of pull it like that, and it would just kind of spin out of my hand, or I'd yank it glove side. So I really just been trying to kind of throw it as hard as I can, but still get on top of it and just pull straight down, which has kind of helped the command and the velocity too.
That's got to be how Chase Burns kind of throws it, right? Which is why it's kind of a cutterish thing, staying on top of it. And
yeah, his is pretty similar grip, but his delivery is he's a lot more over the top, so he can kind of just, I mean, if he gets his, I think he just almost kind of sets his wrist, so his is just comes out of the same slot, which makes it so good.
Gotcha. And what is the grip for the, like, how do I throw a 104-mile-an-hour fastball? Let us say the grip.
I mean, I just do a normal four seam. I keep my fingers together, my thumb on the very bottom, and honestly just try to rip it as hard as I can every time. So
that'll get me to throw that fast. I got it. Like, I'm gonna get on the bump. I have a mound in my basement. I'm gonna just get on there and throw. See what it does.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So like, where do you see your next step? Like, what do you want to be? What will make you the pitcher that you think you can be? And who do you idolize? Is there anybody you grew up saying, this is who I want to be like?
I loved watching Max Scherzer growing up, just kind of seeing him out there. I mean, he's one of the best competitors in the MLB, I feel like. Just kind of watching him go out there and compete every day is awesome. I mean, obviously I love watching DeGrom. His pitches are unreal, but I mean, I think for me, I just need to continue to like refine my off-speed pitches as much as I can and try to get more comfortable out on the mound. I mean, I really haven't pitched as much as most people at this level, just because of injuries and just weird situations with COVID and all that. Just trying to get more comfortable and really just try to refine my off speed as much as I can. I think that'll make me a lot better in the long run.
I would imagine. Did that have anything to do with, did you always grow up wanting to go to Tennessee?
Yeah, I've lived in Knoxville for most of my life. I've been a huge Tennessee fan. I mean, I was going to Tennessee camps when I was like 7 years old, when they had the all dirt field. And yeah, I've loved Tennessee my whole life. So it's kind of a dream come true coming here.
Because didn't Coach work with Scherzer some back in the
day?
Yeah,
he worked with him in Missouri, and he'll actually have Scherzer come over in the off season sometimes and talk to us, just because they're still pretty good friends. So which is crazy, just kind of having him around and being able to pick his mind. But yeah, he's really close with Scherzer, so we'll kind of watch a lot of his clips and try to compare ourselves with him.
Oh, he needs to come over, and you need to have a throwing contest. So he'd get so pissed off if he couldn't come within like 10 miles an hour of you. That would be.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
Yeah, I remember watching him in the All-Star game a couple years ago, and you could tell he was grunting every pitch, and he was getting up to like 100. That was kind of crazy to watch. Yeah, I mean, he just looks like he loves being out there and competing. And I remember the one game he bunted the ball off of his face, and he had the huge black eye, and watching him throw after that was pretty crazy.
That was one of my favorite Scherzer games, actually. That was insane. Like the guts that dude has and the competitiveness. I think he's just great for the sport. Is that like you don't do that outwardly? you're not an outward competitive guy. You're kind of, to me, you look more stoic and not like showing a lot of emotion. But do you feel that on the inside as a competitor?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I'm more of a like I'll kind of say it in my head. Like I'm talking to myself, but it's not as obvious as some other people. But I'll still kind of do those in my head, and it's cool to kind of if you finish an inning, go back to the dugout and celebrate with the teammates. That's kind of more of my thing. I'm not really a big like screaming on the mound and stuff like that. I try to keep my composure. I'll get a little too amped up.
That makes sense. Because yeah, you seem like a pretty calm dude on the bump, other than like, throwing the crap out of the ball. And when you get back to the dugout, like what do your teammates say? Like what do folks say around you when they're watching you throw?
It's just, I mean, they're always like, it's so fun watching you throw, and I'll come back in, they're like, dude, you just hit 104, like what the heck, or just kind of stuff like that. It's kind of cool to get those compliments from my teammates and just kind of see their reaction. I saw a video. I threw a pitch, and it was from behind the dugout, and all their heads just kind of turned over and look at the scoreboard every pitch. So it's just kind of cool, like how invested they are, and I mean, they know like I'm coming back from surgery, and they're always kind of asking how it feels, and just trying to. They're just super invested in everything, so it's really cool.
So help me describe what it feels like to throw 103, 104. Like, what does your body feel like? What does it? Not knowing that knowing that you don't look at the velo, but what does it feel like to you throwing that hard, since very few people know what it feels like?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, most of the time when I'm not even really thinking about like, oh, how hard am I throwing? I'm just really trying to be under control, and I feel like just through working out and all the throwing program and stuff, I honestly don't even really know like how hard I'm throwing. Like it's not even really a thought in my head. I'm just kind of really just trying to throw strikes and stay under control. But yeah, I don't even really. If there wasn't a radar there, I wouldn't even know how hard I'm throwing.
Do you feel like extra synced up? Is that it? Like being under control? Do you feel like, is there any feeling like you have about your lower half going first, your arm staying back, or is there no cues at all and you're just throwing?
Honestly, I really don't even have cues. I think for me, it's just more intent. Like I'm trying to throw as hard as I can, but still stay under control. For me, like I can almost kind of tell when everything's on time and my hips are rotating towards the plate instead of kind of getting out of control. But yeah, I honestly don't even really have any cues. It's just kind of throw it hard and let it eat every time.
Did you have any real pitching coaches growing up, or is this mostly like until you got to college?
I worked with just kind of my high school coach mostly. Just kind of do some drills here and there. It wasn't really like we didn't really focus too much on mechanics. It was just honestly just try to throw hard and throw strikes was really the big thing from all the coaches I've ever had. So it was, I mean, which I think really helped me, just not even thinking about the mechanical part of it, just kind of let my body get in those positions that it's going to get in.
I would agree with that, because I don't think there's a lot of guys that throw like you. And I think if somebody changed you, it might just mess everything up.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I love Coach Anderson. He's kind of just, I mean, he says if you're here for a reason, and you know how to throw. So why change it, and just kind of let your body do what it's going to naturally do, and you'll probably be in the position you need to be in.
I'm a big fan of that, because I think a lot of coaches like to put a stamp on you and say, look, I changed this kid to do this, and now like I get some credit. Whereas I think real good coaches don't need that. They'll guide you along, but let you be you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well, I think we can wrap up, but that was great, dude. And let's turn your hat around. Let's see your pitching ninja. Yeah, we've got to. There we go. I love it.
I've had this one for a couple of years, or whenever it came out, maybe like a year ago, I got one. So I've been a fan since you first started the thing. So.
Nice. Well, that's always good. So I can speaking of taking credit, like I think I get some credit here. Like, no, I don't get any credit. No, dude, it is so much fun. By the way, I think you had a large role in getting some fans through the lockout and through all this stuff, because you were like the main show in town when it came to all this. So everybody's eyes were on you and they were like, wow, this is awesome. So you saved baseball.
Hey, any way I can help. Any way I can help.
Awesome. Well, it's great talking to Volunteer Fireman. And I hope that name sticks forever because it's impressive. You deserve your own nickname because you're an impressive dude. And I wish you nothing but the biggest success and win a national championship and then get drafted high.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much. Hey, that's the goal. That's
Cool,
the goal.
dude. Well, take care.
Thank you. You as well.